Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to a weekly watch list video brought to you by DView. As always, we're going to run through all the names on my focus list for this upcoming trading week and take a quick look at their setups, how I would look to enter the name, as well as manage risk at the same time. So let's go ahead and dive right in. And if you do enjoy this video, please go ahead and leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new to the channel. And if you have any other names that you think are worth keeping an eye on for this week, let me know down below in the comment section. And if you have any thoughts of your own on these names, let us know as well. I'll try to answer as many comments and questions as I can. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. So opening this up, this is my focus list for this week. You can see the themes here, mostly packaged software, some electronics, some semiconductors there as well. But overall, this is kind of what I'm working with. So let's go ahead and dive right into each of the charts and talk about their setup. So first of all, we've got CRM, definitely a slower mover, but if you're looking more for a larger cap name to play the software theme with, this is definitely an option. Just broke out of a base, nice earnings gapper. This breakdown where we gapped lower, does give me a little bit of pause, but we were able to hold near the HVC. But I would have liked to, have a little bit of more of an easy transition from the strong move post earnings gap to this consolidation, but we'll have to see how this plays out. But definitely tightening up recently right near the HVC and basically watching for a U-turn to form, so a push higher on volume, and definitely a strong name that can trend nicely above the rising moving averages. So we'll have to see how this acts going forward. Moving on, we've got DKNG. This one had a very strong move higher, now pulled back below the 21 EMA. So a little bit of weakness coming in here, but now is forming a range just under that 21 EMA. So basically watching for a pop through that 21 EMA and a continuation of the trend. There's a lot of nice themes going on with this one and some nice growth as well. If we open up the earnings here and scroll over here, great estimates, really nice growth. Nice surprises as well that led to this powerful move and can sustain a further trend from this base right here. So that is DKNG. Moving on, we've got Duolingo, basically forming out a flat base here, compressing against that 21 EMA. Little move up today off the 21 EMA, but basically watching for continuation up, maybe additional tightening, and then a nice pivot breakout, and ideally a trend after it moves through around the 223 level. So pretty easy to manage risk here. You've got the 21 EMA that you can use there, and basically watching for a nice push up higher on volume. ESTC, watching for continuation up, was a little bit of a move here on this Friday, but nothing too convincing that really signifies that we're really starting the trend. So maybe we need a little bit more of a pullback, but really nice tight days when the market was a little bit turbulent on this past Wednesday. This one stayed tight, held the HVC, is acting pretty well. And just like a lot of the software names, you have some really nice growth coming to this stock. 54% EPS beats. That's definitely significant. So definitely a name to have on your radar, as with a lot of recent gappers. Moving on, we've got GGAL. This is definitely more of a speculative play, but this can definitely trend as we've seen in the past. And this is a regional bank in South America. Don't know too much about the company, but it's more of a play on the chart. Right at this key level, very nice push higher, gap up, continuation up, a very powerful move off lows, and now tightening up here. So this is more of a swing trade type play. And I'd love maybe one more inside day and then a strong, distinctive pivot breakout through this range, and basically managing risk at the low of the day. And it basically has to work right away. And you definitely want to manage risk pretty carefully with this type of name, but definitely a name that has a lot of potential. Moving on, we've got GTLB, nice push higher from this base finally after earnings. And again, really nice numbers. If we go ahead and scroll over, you can see really nice growth and a surprise profit as well. That's always good to see. And now we've got a slight pullback after earnings and basically watching for continuation up and a little bit of a U-turn and start of a strong trend with this name, but definitely a name to have on your radar. IoT, very similar. Nice move up from the base, now pulling back, compressing. Nice upside reversal today. Didn't have the best closing range, but basically watching for continuation up and a breakthrough of that HVC. Lemonade, this is, moving off lows here. Again, more of a swing trade type play. Nice move up and now compressing, forming a base. A little bit move up today, but not huge volume coming in. So basically watching for a breakout through around 18.3 on a huge, pickup in volume. And ideally, this starts a power move up towards that 25 level. LRCX, watching the semiconductor theme here. You've got a nice handle forming within this base, compressing against that 21 EMA, forming a range the past 3 days. You can see RMVs coming down and basically watching for a breakout here through these highs. I think AMD is kind of the existing leader in this space, but this is an option if you don't already have shares of the leader. And forming a decent setup here. Nice push off the lows from around 580 all the way to 730 or so. Path, definitely a nice move on Friday, actionable on this day and this day, but we're still not through this pivot high. So if it does compress again, form an inside day, I think that is definitely an actionable setup as well. So basically watching for just continuation up and ideally a breakout through this high. But really nice growth numbers as this tries to move off the bottom here, and a nice surprise in terms of EPS. And there's a nice big base that it just broke out of. So good to see it start to trend finally. Moving on, we've got ROKU. Nice push higher, pulling back the past few weeks towards that 21 EMA area and basically watching for continuation up. You can manage risk at the swing low or the low of the breakout day, forming a flag. Ideally, you get a nice breakout and break through all these different highs all at one time. And ideally, you can start a new stage 2 uptrend in earnest. SN, a recent IPO here, compressing here against the 21 EMA. You do have a downside reversal on big volume, so that's something to keep note of, but we've absorbed that selling for the most part as of this moment and are compressing again, forming a tighter range. So basically watching for a breakout and continuation of the trend that's had since the bottom here back in August of this year. Snowflake forming out a handle here right near, if you look to the left, you've got a little bit of turbulence in this area, basically watching for a definitive breakout from this range that we've been forming the past 6 days or so. Ideally, we get an inside day to start off the week, and then that would really allow you to manage risk tightly versus the low of that inside day if we do break out on that pivot, or you can manage risk on the low of the breakout day. Lastly, we've got TMDX, which is forming out a range here. It's acted pretty well since this earnings gap. We had another U-turn, and now it's forming a potential secondary buy point right around the 75 level if we can push through this and start a move up in earnest. But good to see we're back above the 200-day moving average. We're above a rising 21 EMA. A little bit of weakness on this past Friday, but staying within this range and basically watching to see if we can break through this pivot on large volumes. So that's pretty much it for my focus list, short and sweet. Let me know your thoughts on these setups, what are your top 2 or 3 names from this list, and definitely let me know if you have any others that you think are worth keeping an eye on. I think, there's been a lot of strong moves the past few days that have activated a lot of short-term setups. So there's not so much out there, but I try to pick and find the best that I could with this list and focus on the leaders as well. So thanks so much for watching. If you did enjoy, go ahead and leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys in future videos. Thank you.